is covered by an insulating material called the myelin sheath. And this is the cell body of the neuron. Cytoplasm. Is the picture there of neuron in the So in the axon, you have this covering insulating material called the myelin sheath. Now in between, there are some gaps in the myelin sheath where the axon is exposed. Agnieszka, just look here. Forget that. So you have the axon. This is the nerve cell or the neuron. Okay. The axon is covered by insulating myelin sheath. Now in between in the axon, the myelin sheath is not a continuous covering. There are gaps in the axon where it is exposed. So these gaps are called nodes of Ranvier. Yeah. Any idea what the function of this could be? Yes, conducting electrical impulses. Wherever there is no insulation, electrical impulses will be conducted. The main function of the nerve cell is to conduct electrical impulses for passage of information. Okay, so this is what is the node of, it's there in your question paper, Viva was. Actually, my daughter also mentioned this. She said, why did you not teach this? It's just one line, in that whole chapter, but somehow teachers will pick up on that one line and they will ask that in the question paper. So that's why suddenly I saw that question. I said, I knew about this, but I thought it was, okay, leave it, chhod do.
Like, what does it conduct?
Electrical impulses.
Your axon is already conducting, right?
Yes, but it will conduct only in these areas where there are gaps, where there is no insulation. Where the myelin sheath is not covering the axon, these areas will serve for conduction of electrical impulses.
I don't get it. Like, to the external of a nerve, is it?
No, it will conduct from between one nerve cell to the other, or at the synaptic junction where it connects to a muscle fiber.
Right.
And will cause a contraction or something.
So there could be another nerve ending from the nodes of Ranvier to which is...
No. Axon is uninterrupted. It will either end in a muscle or it will end in another nerve.
Correct.
And that's where the communication, the electrical impulses will get exchanged, positive and negative charge.
But the axon is completely conducting, right? There is no... I don't understand the purpose of nodes of Ranvier. Like, there is myelin sheath between, let's say, segments of axon. The nodes of Ranvier are the exposed part.
Yeah, I get it. I get your question, but this is what is mentioned in the textbook. This is how it is. I will get back to you on this question again, probably by tomorrow. How exactly conduction takes place? Good question. How exactly conduction takes place across the axon? Okay, I will get back to that.
Spelling nodes of
Ranvier.
R-A-N-V-I-E.
Yes. And further elaboration, it says the myelin sheath is largely composed of insulating fatty substance. The nodes of Ranvier allow the generation of a fast electrical impulse along the axon. This rapid rate of conduction is called saltatory conduction. Okay?
Is it some sort of...
Maybe a special type of fast communication. Yes, they call it high-speed conduction, like your high-speed, whatever, internet cables are.
Maybe it's like an amplifier, it amplifies.
Yes, good. Man, this is like, going into a wormhole, okay? There is no end to the knowledge, it just goes deeper and deeper.
No, they have to more, instead of studying anatomy, Even less, how to correlate with yoga.
Exactly.
That is more needed.
Yeah.
So no use more going in
Deeper
anatomy.
and deeper into
So
our.
how much we are utilizing that into yoga is very essential.
Okay, please come to skeletal system. Chapter is just 2 pages, 2 or 3 pages packed with information, okay? Some 4 pages, 24 to 28, 29, 31 actually. And everything is important. And plus I'll just give you a few more also. Okay. A simple 1 mark question will be how many bones are there in the human body?
206.
Yes, good. 206. We are not born with that, we are born with much more. And then they all fuse. Many of them fuse. So the child has more bones than the adult. Okay. Now skeletal system is not just bones. Okay. There are various other things in the skeletal system. Mainly which gives a framework to the body. Okay. Skeletal system is the structure that gives us our shape, provides functions of skeletal system: shape, protection for internal organs, then offers a supportive framework for the attachment of muscles. So to the bones, muscles are attached. Okay, and muscles which will contract and relax and help you to move. Okay, and to the bones, muscles are attached, then bone to bone, ligaments are attached, and then bone to muscle, tendons are attached. So all this forms your skeletal system. Of course, you have joints. Joints are the places where 2 or more bones meet. Okay. Now, when the 2 or more bones meet, there is a joint. Obviously, you can't have the bone rubbing against the bone. It causes friction, wear and tear, and pain. So you need that cushioning between 2 bones. That is called your joint. Okay. So functions of skeletal system will be shape, protection, movement. Also, bones are a storehouse for red blood cells and white blood cells. The bone marrow is a storehouse and it's a growth center. So growth keeps happening in bones more or less throughout life. Unlike this nerve cell where once it is cut, the nerve cell will not grow back. The bone can grow back. And of course, apart from production of white blood cells and red blood cells, it's a storehouse for calcium. Okay, so a lot of functions of skeletal system. The first, so when you are asked a question in Viva, you just go with top to bottom, like what is the most important. So the most important will be the framework, then the shape, then the protection, then the movement, then the storehouse for red blood cells and WBCs, RBCs and WBCs, then storehouse for calcium. So these are your 5 or 6 points. The first point being framework, shape of the body. Human skeleton is made up of 206 bones. Now what is bone? Bone is a type of connective tissue. So you can write that. It is a connective tissue. Because it gives a framework. See, connective tissue, what is a connective tissue by definition? It binds structures together, forms a framework and support for organs and the body as a whole. So bone is a connective tissue. Bone is not some dead piece of wood. Okay, it is very active. It is the very fact that the bone can grow back when it is broken shows that it is a dynamic organ, dynamic structure. If something can grow back, that means it's living. Okay, so it's not some dead piece of wood. I mean, we feel it's like that. But actually, if you look, there are some lovely anatomy videos and all that. If you look, if you take a bone, it's all red and fleshy inside. Yeah, the bone marrow and all, only the outer covering is calcium and it is hard, but inside it's all flesh, the bone. So bone is a connective tissue. Connective tissue can be hard, soft, depending on its composition. Doesn't mean connective tissue bone doesn't mean that it is soft and pliable. So it has different degrees of stability or hardness. So connective tissue itself gives framework, supports organs and supports the body as a whole. It stores fat, it can store fat, it transports substances, protects against disease, helps in, because the bone also produces WBCs, it helps to fight against diseases, okay, and helps repair tissue damage. And these bones are present throughout the body, so bone is a connective tissue. Now bones are made up of two parts, organic and inorganic material. The inorganic material is your calcium and mineral salts. So you see all those advertisements, no, Boost, Horlicks and all that, they keep emphasizing calcium for the bones. So calcium is only one part of bone. Bone also has organic material made up of collagen, a material called collagen. What is collagen? Just take a wild guess what collagen. Collagen forms the organic part of bone. Inorganic part of bone is made up of calcium and mineral salts. An organic part of bone is made of collagen. Okay, collagen is a type of protein. It has a high tensile strength, more than steel. Okay, collagen is a protein with a tensile strength higher than steel. And mineral salts and calcium form the inorganic components of bone.
So, is the strength of the bone coming from collagen or the calcium?
It's coming from collagen. Yes. Okay, and you have various types of bones. You have, of which two categories, many varieties of bones are there. Long bones and smaller bones. Now the long bones, mainly what could be the function of long bones? Long bones are for movement. Okay. And so that's about a little bit about that. We move on to the text. Yeah. A human skeleton made up of 206 bones, making the human body a multifunctional structure. Skeletal system is composed of, so this is important, what is the skeletal system made up of? That also could be a question. Not just bones, but you have joints, cartilage. Cartilage also we will see towards the end of chapter, little more in detail. Tendons and ligaments. So these all make up your skeletal system. Okay. Human infants born with 270 bones, most of which ossifies. Ossifies andre, they calcify and they fuse. Calcium is laid down and the bones, 270 bones fuse to form 206 bones. Hmm? Oh. Yes. Yes.
Is there a function for 270 bones to be there? Is there a necessary function? Just there, just born, it just happened.
It's regarding birth.
See, what I know is, I was just going to say, the bones are much softer. So the bones that you are born with, they are not as hard as the bones that you have when you grow up. So as calcium matrix, the matrix of calcium is laid down in the bone cells, then it becomes harder and harder. Okay. One main reason why bones are not so hard when we are born is because the head, the skull is made up of flat bones. So when the baby, so you know that you are born, when you come out of your mother's womb, you come down head first, usually. That's the, because it's why the head first? Because the head is the largest part of the baby, and then gravity will push it down easily. And it will be the path of least resistance, so easier to come down through the head. Now, the skull is made up of flat bones, and they are so soft that the skull bones will slide over one another so that it can pass out of the birth canal easily. Okay, so unlike we thought that the skull bones will not even move, but actually in a baby the bones are so soft that they will slide over one another and the baby will pass out of the birth canal easily, supposedly. So that's the degree of that's the difference between the bones when you are born and when you grow up. So
Maybe it is necessary part of having soft, tiny bones.
yes, they are more flexible and they are more pliable. And there's a lot going on in the children as they grow up. It keeps calcifying and then they become
Is
sturdy.
it like a gradual point, like from 270 to 270, like, you know,
Yeah, the
it's
age, we have to see at what age. I think by around 12 or so, pretty much I think everything, 12 to 15 I think,
Yeah.
all bone, your full number is there. Yeah. Ossify means anything, the word ossify or ossification has got to do with calcification and bone formation. So that is one biological term. Now the skeletons of adult males, any difference, now we are talking about bone mainly, not yet muscle, muscle is tomorrow. So any differences you can think of in the skeleton of the male and the female, just for
females have more flexibility, intermuscular.
I'm talking about bone now, not muscle.
The hip structure will be different.
Yes, hip structure is different, slightly more rounded. Just now we talked about birthing, right? So hip will